Spit truth, bend words, break silence, because here, everybody's voice is heard. This is Metaphors and Mike, where poetry gets raw. And I am your host, Poetic Zay, the smoothest poet in the land, forever known for speaking these words so poetic. Lay. Back again with another episode. Thank y'all for staying tuned in and locked in with us. We got this episode right here today with special guest, Suave the Poet. He is a CEO, a business owner, a philanthropist, a community activist, and a workshop facilitator. Y'all give it up for my good brother, Andre Sansbury, Suave the Poet. What's going on, my brother?
I felt like I was on Club Shay Shay. You know what I'm saying?
What's up, man? How you feeling, Brody?
I'm good, man. It's a great day. It's good to have great days right now, you know, because not every day be great. So
that's good. That boy got that line up.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been looking homeless for about 2 weeks because I just head down, chest out, just working, you know.
Sometimes you got to put your head down and get that groundwork done.
So I ain't even been caring for real.
Speaking of groundwork, you know, we got a lot to cover, and I want to make sure that people like really get the experience, the full essence of who Andre is, who Suave. Which one you want to go about through the podcast?
We're gonna be Andre today.
We're gonna be Andre. All right, cool. All right, so tell the people who is Andre. You know, where he from, what he like to do.
Andre is a very, very that's a challenging question for real, but I'm somebody that just believes in taking this purpose that God gave me and just being able to spread it through the world. Like, you know, being able to change lives. I always had this thing where like I call myself the sacrificial lamb because I ain't never really care about what I endured as long as I knew the things that I have endured. I'm able to transform them into healing powers and give back to the people around me, bro. Like, when you think about people and they talk about community and things of that nature, like a lot of them really don't even know what that means. You know, like a lot of them just, they doing it for the lights and the glamour and the glitz. Like, I've never done it for that. Like, if you see me like shining like in this manner, like this is just who I've been since I was in elementary school. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I used to watch Little Romeo on Sunday so I could see what my outfit was going to look like on Monday. My daddy used to take me to the flea market, give me a $3 chain. Like, I have a new one every week. Like, that's just always been that part of me. But when it comes to, like, my purpose and that part of me, like, that shit is real. Like, I don't care about the glamour and glitz. Like, I care about the impact, the legacy I'm going to leave on this world, the legacy I'm going to leave for my children. Like, that's the core of who I am. Like, it's a lot of ways to describe me, a lot of different things that I do, a lot of things that built me. But the core of my heart is like just really being able to impact this world because this world is cold, bro. Like, this shit not easy. Everybody going through shit. And it's like, I want to be that light, that vessel that impacts the world in a positive way because there's not a lot of really people out here really committed to the real, authentic vision of that.
Yeah, and that's a heavy burden too. But I think even like when I first met you, you always been a servant, bro.
Yeah.
And I think like that's what I really want people to capture beyond the surface. You know, like even the chains is light today. Like you on some light drip today, you know? But even then, like I think a lot of people sometimes get caught up in the aesthetic of you. You don't really take the time to learn like who you really are. So like let's start with the community part, because ever since I met you, you know, you was about community. Like what was your main drive for you to like get some community involved?
The way I was like raised, like when, you know, my dad old school for real. He a country boy. Like, my dad lost his grandmama when he was like 12, his granddaddy when he was like 2. And I say his grandparents because he didn't have his parents in his life. Like, his mama sent him from Philly down when he was 2 years old. Like, and so when his grandma died when he was 12, like, he had to take care of himself. And so my daddy always instilled real values in me. So like, that's why fatherhood is essentially like so important to me, because not everybody is granted that opportunity. So I don't take it lightly or for granted, you know?
Yeah.
Now, I had both of my parents in my life, but me and my mother didn't have the greatest relationship growing up. So it's like, I give a lot of credit to my father. Like, you know, I give credit to my mama because she was there. Some parents don't show up, she did. But when it comes to like community, like, I seen my dad to this day. He owns his own towing and recovery company, and he always been that person that helped people out regardless of what their financial situation was. Like, he I remember when I was growing up, my daddy did $45 tolls and everybody else might be charging $125, $150. Like he served the communities that didn't have everything they needed.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not afraid of the hood because like my daddy raised me in it. Like I know what the trenches look like because that's the places he went to help. Like, you know, tow a car, car break down. Like that's who you calling. You're not calling AAA and all these road runners. You know what I'm saying?
Especially when you ain't got it.
You know, they ain't got that money. So it's like they in a tight situation. And I remember like growing up and I love my daddy so much. Like I used to think people was taking advantage of him. And I just didn't ever realize that like, no, like he was just very driven in his purpose and like giving back to the less fortunate and people that just didn't have it. So he put up with a lot because of that. And also on top of that, like seeing the circumstances of the people around me, like I never had grandparents, but like the lady that kind of was stepped in as that grandmother role, she stayed in Massey Hill. So when I was down here, like in Massey Hill, like that's the trenches. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I seen the poverty around there. Like I seen her, if she had molded bread, like she didn't throw it away. Like it was people in the trailer park that would take that bread and cut the mold off of it and eat. And like, that's crazy living. Like when you think about it, but like that's the circumstances they were in. My aunt, you know, she was in a lot of different things that she shouldn't have been in. And that was like the person I looked up to sometimes as like that mother figure because we were so close. And the situations that she was in, like, they weren't always the best. And, you know, I lost her to suicide when I was in 9th grade. So the mental health component, not having necessarily some of the guidance I needed, because as much as I talk about my father, when I got to a certain age, because of what he experienced as a youth, he like, yo, you a man now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you figure it out on your own. So that guidance wasn't there. So it's like, it fed me to want to give back to it fed me to want to give back to the youth. It fed me to understand what community was like because it was instilled in me. Like it fed me to want to highlight mental health and things of that nature. So it was like all that was just embedded in me. So whenever I had the opportunity to do it, I've been doing this since I was 19, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when I found poetry essentially saved my life in my darkest moments. I didn't know what to do with it. Like I was from an area in a space where I was worried about what my homeboys was gonna think about me because of the life we was living. So I was like, I didn't know what to do with it. And the only thing I could think to do with it was to give it to the community. And so it's like, essentially over time, I just realized like that was the purpose that God gave me. So it's like I had to walk in it because what else I'm gonna do with it? Like you gonna deny God's purpose? You can't do that. So community, like I'm big on giving back to it. So when people have a negative perception of me, I'm like, if somebody ever says something negative about me to you, I want you to look at God's favor for me and compare the two and see if it makes sense. So,
and people are always gonna have something to say.
Yeah, for sure. True. And it'll tear you down, but yeah,
for sure. You talked about like the presence of your mom not being in your life. How did that like shape you as a person through your journey of your life?
I mean, she was there. Like she was in my life, you know, so I can't take that from her. But we just didn't necessarily see eye to eye because my mama had her own issues and her issues with my father. I look just like my daddy. Like I'm light skinned, he dark skinned, but other than that, I look just like my daddy. So it's like she took that out on me. And that created a burden. So that dynamic, when I got older, like it essentially made me like abuse women. And I don't mean physically. I just mean like you looking for somebody to fill that void, that space.
Emotionally.
Yeah. Like, you know, like
emotional abuse is real. Yeah, you
know. and so that's kind of what happened, man. Like it put me in a space where I that name Suave wasn't something that like I started calling myself. Like, you know, when people become artists, they give themselves that name sometimes. Like I didn't give myself that name. Like people gave me that name because I just was out here like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I always had this thing for women. Like we always talk about it, bro. We love women.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was just built on like the relationship or the lack of with my mother. Like I always yearned for it. I wanted it. I need something to fill that gap, that void. So it just created a space where it created a lot of challenges in life. I had my first kid when I was 18 years old. You know, and that relationship with him is nothing compared to what it is with my two youngest children because I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
His mama was 16. Like, we was babies trying to raise a child, and like
still trying to figure out how to be a man.
like, you know what I'm
and
saying?
a father.
A life.
Know?
Like, you trying to figure out, like, you 18, you don't know what you about to do, what's going on. Like, but my relationship with my mother, and not to make excuses or whatever, but my relationship with my mother essentially caused that. Like, I was just out here living reckless, and, you know, and it led to a child in this world that might have not necessarily deserved to be brought into this world in that manner. And so now you grow up and you in a situation where like you have to try to catch that child up with the life that the other two have, and that's not always an easy feat to do. So it had a lot of triggering effects and like, you know, trickle down, but
you working through it though. You in therapy right now, right?
Yeah.
Come on, black man. Yeah.
Therapy is important, bro. Like, I don't play about that. Like, I'm going. Like, I'm gonna be there every week.
What's the difference between you not in therapy, working through the issues that you know are prevalent in your history, and like you like really addressing it head on down?
Not being in therapy, like, you got poetry, right? You know, and you think that that's enough. Like, you like, well, I'll write about this, especially because people have always told me like I'm an introspective writer. And that's been my ability to tell stories and get so far as I have, you know, with that. But at the end of the day, like, that's not always enough, right? Like, you just in your own space, your own head. And my therapist tell me all the time, like, you're very self-aware. You're great at acknowledging what's going on, understanding it, but it's always internally. You never really release it. Like, you don't talk to people around you about it. Like, you hold things in. She was like, when you come through that door, she said, I see it ready to just all pour out. And she was like, that's not okay, because like, it's like you holding it on for the whole week until you get in here and then you feel comfortable in this space. And I mean, that's true, right? But at the end of the day, the therapy component, at least I'm doing it there because I was never doing it in no other space before then. And so now I'm being able to kind of like rationalize the things I'm feeling or thinking and being able to have different conversations more effectively with people, because it's like I might have something that's going on in my mind and I don't really know who to talk to it about. Like, so I work through it myself, but then when I go in there and I talk through it with her, I'm able to kind of have that conversation a little better. And so it's like, it's increased my communication, my emotional intelligence, like being able to grow and heal through things and just like become a better person. Like, people around me, man, they like, yo, like, I see a difference in you. Like, you are in the shift, like, you growing.
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful because like, I care about perception, you know, like I shouldn't as much as I do,
We all do.
You know, I care about it because of the things that I do in life and like the role I have in this community. Like, it's hard to be as effective if people view you a certain way. So it's like, I want to be able to come into rooms and into atmospheres and be a person that they look at and they're like, dang, like, you know, that's a different guy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I used to be out here at all my engagements intoxicated and to some level, and like, it showed, you know, it showed in my work, it showed in my presence, it showed in how I would fill rooms. And like, that's not okay. That's not who I want to be. That's not who I want attached to who I am. Because if you really know me, you know my heart. And it's like, I can't expect everybody to get to see that if I'm in a room where my heart is drowned out by the things that I'm trying to do to mask what I'm feeling. So therapy has been very beneficial in reeling in like my substance abuse and things that I've struggled with. Bro, I've been struggling with alcoholism since I was like 13. Like, that's a crazy number. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a crazy number, dog. Like, for real, for real.
Yeah.
But since I was 13, like, it's been prevalent in my life. And so, like, now to be in a space where I can go out and just socially drink and not care to drink and different things, like, that shit hurt my stomach. Like, that shit make my stomach hurt, bro. Like,
you gotta have them boundaries within yourself, though, in order to like truly measure growth. And I realized like we had a moment where we realized kind of like division is becoming bigger than us when we will be in public, you know, being us, you know, intoxicated, lit, you know, and then all of a sudden you got somebody from the community walking up to you wanting to share you in a personal encounter that they had. And it really make you look at yourself like, what am I doing right now? You know, like,
because I'm fucked up. I'm over here fucked up trying to have this conversation with you. And I feel crazy on the inside. Even it don't matter how fucked up I am, I feel crazy on the inside trying to have this conversation with you right now because it's like you over here idolizing me and I'm over here like sloppy. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say that like if I'm in my own personal time and space, like I should be allowed to have that. But it's like once you become that community figure, like you
got all eyes on you.
And that's that role. If you take that role on, you got to take it on, you know, real thing. Like I tell you, you want to play big boy games, you got to be ready to be a big boy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to be ready to put on them shoes. So yeah, that shit is not a good look.
He does say that, y'all. But speaking about community, tell us about some of the different projects and organizations you were part of that are community driven for the people that don't know.
Okay, so founder, CEO of Lost Voices Empire. It was originally Poetic Voices back in 2015, but I was just out here like I needed a brand, right? Like, but it wasn't like no true establishment. Like, but since I was 19, again, I've been doing this, and since I was 19, like I was trying to find artists to help, like because I had this lady named Phyllis Williams who she put me on the publishing game. And like that was one of the realest things she could ever did for free, like just because she seen me on Facebook. And so I started pouring into artists and helping artists get published when I was 19 years old. And that's all it was at that point in time. But as years grew, like it became something that was like a real vision, and I realized what I could do with it. So in 2020, I reestablished the organization and called it Lost Voices, and actually got like it's registered with the state and all these different things. Yeah. And it's just an organization that's just driven to like pouring back into the youth. Like that's the foundation of it. Like making children understand that their voice matters. Right. Like, being able to give them a voice. That's why it's called Lost Voices. Because too often, especially, as minorities, we put in situations to where our voice gets muted, muffled. It's bad because in our own households, you know what I'm saying? Like they tell you what you can and can't say and what you can't do because
they want to filter your voice.
And that's not in all communities. That's just real prevalent in ours, like how we grew up. And so it start there or schools. Like, bro, I talk about schools all the time. Like school systems are not designed to really feed the students in the manner that they should. Like I've been in places where I was in a school out in Scotland County. I'm not going to be specific. But I was in a school out in Scotland County and I'm in the front office. There was a girl came in there and she was what they call acting out, but she was really just playing. Like she really was joking. Like there was no seriousness in it. And she walked out and the lady that was a teacher there was like, I just can't stand that. Like I can't stand like them acting like this and this, that, and the third. I said, well, acting like a child? I said, you got to meet them where they are. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know how they were raised. You don't know what their circumstances are. And you judging a child and you supposed to be the one that's fueling them with education. How?
You're supposed to be their guidance.
How does that work?
The example.
You know what I'm saying? And me, me, like I'm vocal. Like I don't care.
You are.
So
I'd have seen it.
I checked her right then and there. But you know what that did? The principal seen that. He called me back there. He had me come back and teach professional development workshops to the teachers.
Because they need it.
And it's like, bro, why am I like, I'm 29, bro. I was probably 28, 27 at the time I did that. And I'm coming and teaching people who've been in education for probably as long as I've been alive how to be professional. And it's like, that's essentially why I'm so passionate about Lost Voices and giving back, because that's your traditional education system and we expect people to succeed. How? Yeah. How as grown folks of color talking about children of color when we're supposed to be setting them up to succeed in this world? So Lost Voices Empire is the organization I founded to be that beacon of hope and voice for the youth and the misrepresented, misguided and all these different things. And like I'm so blessed to have the people around me who have come in and seen the vision and come on board. Like I think it was 9 of us now, like including you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is my CEO, this is my right hand, like, and it's beautiful. And We do everything now. Like we just did a community cookout last Friday or the Friday before last, where all I did was the same thing clubs do. You know what clubs do? They let you come in for free. Why? Because they have a resource already there, the bar.
The bar.
You know what I'm saying? They got the bar, they got the access to this, and they know like this is a resource that they can still make their money, right? All I did was utilize the same concept of being able to provide people with something free by understanding the resources that I have at my disposal, aka somebody like PwC, right? You know what I'm saying? Like they donated 8 cases of water because it's one of my community partners. I didn't have to do nothing for that. I didn't have to, you know what I'm saying? All I had to do was invest my time and energy to do something positive.
Yeah.
But most people don't want to take on that burden because it's a lot. Like, and it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't say like I wasn't stressed the day of, like, because I'm pulling things from different, resources and this, that, and the third, but it's business. Like I use a business mentality to go and help the community, and we provided free water, juice, sodas. We had hot dogs, hamburgers, jerk chicken, rice and peas, toothbrushes, toothpaste, candy, coloring books, gift cards, like
face paint,
free. You know what I'm saying? Like, and all I did was leverage resources and gave back. And everybody, we helped children, families. We don't know what they was going through. Somebody could have pulled over.
Homeless
and
man's walking by, bro. Come get
it was right. We had a homeless dude walking by, and I'm like, hey, yo, come here. And he nervous. You know what I'm saying? Like he like.
I remember the one that walked by that was like, I got to get to this job interview.
And then you seen him walk back 3 minutes later. So it was like, it really wasn't.
Just take this water. If you don't take nothing else.
That's it. Like, just take something. But sometimes, like, free in the world we live in always seem like it's got a catch.
It's got a cost. Everything got a price.
My heart ain't got no catch, bro. Like, this is, that's like, good. You know what I'm saying? So that's Lost Voices. That's my community, like, organization. Like, that's what's to give back to this world, because I just want, we got to be like, like, cause you a part of it. Like, we got to be the voice and the representation for those who are afraid to speak out and do the things or get the things that they need, the real help. So
that's real. And it ain't easy because I know you say it all the time. Sometimes you can love the community, but that don't mean the community
don't love you back. It don't love you back.
And that's the real truth. And even that goes into like when you were talking about this, first of all, shout out all the educators, I learned early, in college that educators are the only profession that create other professions.
Yeah.
But are they represented that way?
Nah.
We
don't realize it.
No. Even support wise, like, so like it's a big task to be an educator, not only that, but I know you see it firsthand with the Purpose Through Poetry program, right? Tell us a little bit about that program.
So Purpose Through Poetry originally was Wisdom Through Writing when it started 10 years ago. Again, I didn't really know what to do with writing, like poetry. I wanted to reach out to a lot of OGs, but sometimes like my appearance always been a thing, right? Like, I've always been who I am.
They judge a book.
Yeah, they judge the book and don't even know what's really going on. Like they didn't take the time to really converse with me. Once you converse with me, you understand who I am.
You in the South though.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? And so it was Wisdom Through Writing. And it was the only thing I knew to do with poetry was to give back to the youth. Like I'm 19 talking about giving back to the youth. Like I was in high schools with students essentially that I would have been in school with a year ago if I was at that school, right? Yeah. And it started as Wisdom Through Writing. And I went to schools for maybe like 8 years, like, no charge, like just trying to figure it out, help, learn. And so then 2-3 years ago, redefined it, created Purpose Through Poetry, changed as a name change. And you've been a major part of that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like we can't go and say this is all on me, right? Like as far as that rebrand, you've been a major part of that, but like Purpose Through Poetry is just a program where poetry is the vehicle, but it has nothing to do with the entirety of what the purpose is. Like it's about mental health, SEL, so social emotional learning for those that don't know, emotional intelligence, emotional regulation, things of that nature. We target alternative schools, Title I schools. Like we'll go anywhere, right? Like we just made that clear. Like we're gonna be anywhere you want us to be, we'll be there. But as far as like where I've always chased and tried to put it is in those schools because that's where the need is, right? And so Purpose Through Poetry has been all over the East Coast, right? Like we growing, bro. Like we just launched the elementary schools with, Two members of Lost Voices, Keisha and Shami, who are both in places already in their life where they deal with children, right? Like Shami deals with autistic children and things of that nature. So they came on board and were able to craft that elementary segment, Gen 1, so effectively and easily. Like, I've seen it firsthand. And I'd be like, damn, they almost better than us already. Cause like it was just so smooth for real. And dealing with that program and seeing things firsthand in schools, like when we talk about shout out to the educators and giving them their flowers, like I've been able to see the difference in somebody who comes because they care and somebody who cares that their lights don't get turned off, right? It's a difference. It's not the same game, right?
It is not.
Like shout out to Adrian, Miss Baskinville at Ramsey. Like,
shout
you know,
I'm
gonna shout you out for real, because that's an educator who cares. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, you know, you got to get financial means, but I will say for the most part, an educator to take that course has to want to do it at some point, right? Yeah. They had to want to do it originally, I would assume. Like some of them, it might have been the easiest route. But for some of them, based off the finances that they are provided and the amount that is not existing of it, right? Because they're underpaid, they had to want to do it in some capacity, right? But throughout the time, just like anything in life, some people get lost, right? And they get tired, they get wore out, and they give up, right? Like, but that's not, these children don't deserve to be given up on, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I shout out people like Adrian, because I've seen so much being behind the scenes, bro. Like I get information that teachers don't get because they can't tell them that. Like, it's a school in Charlotte. And I'm gonna try to be diligent with how I present this because I don't want to call out too many names on something like this. But it's a school in Charlotte. They wanted us to come out there, right? And they talked to me about the foundation of the school. I think it was built 10 years ago. And based off of the fact that when they launched this school, right, the name that was originally supposed to go on this school was not given to this school. So a different name was put on this school. Because of that, the powers to be, right, and transparent person, so white people, like older white guys in power, right? That's what it was. Older white guys in power allowed their ego to create a structure to where people of higher incomes, they crossed the routes of like who was supposed to go to this school. So they put all the privileged kids, they would send them to schools in different areas that they weren't even supposed to be in. That won't even their district. But they put them all in there and they took all the poverty neighborhoods, no matter where they were, and crossed the routes to put them all in this school. The average grade level in this school is a D. For an entire school, you're talking about an average grade level is a D. So not only did they set this school up for failure, they also created a system that now puts teachers in a situation to where they're not even necessarily provided the proper resources to handle a situation like that. And like, that's the fucked up shit you see in this, bro. And that drives the passion more, right? So it drives the purpose through poetry, you know, the purpose through poetry. Like it elevates what you want to do with it because like you want to help situations like that because them kids can't help themselves all off an ego trip in a name.
How do you reach the schools that are like, hey, you know, I know there's a need for students that need to be met, but we may not have the resources. We may not have the funding, you know, but we do have a desire. And they check out the program and they're like, hey, we do have a desire to fill you in this space. How do you reach them?
So doing the work, you know what I'm saying? It's grants out here, man. You know what I'm saying? So like it's grants to provide the school with the resource that they need for us to be a resource, right? Because again, for 8 years I did this for free, but like now this is my day-to-day like life. Like this is what I do for a living. And my daughter loves dresses, right? This is what I always say. Like she wants 2-3 new dresses a week. And so I have to make sure that I'm putting food on my children's table. But if they don't have the resources, it doesn't mean that the resources and the funds don't exist. So it's like being able to go out on your own and be like, okay, let me apply for this grant to help this school out. So you help the school out and yourself out and you're able to provide the resource. So it's like, it's extra work and some people don't want to do it. Like they're like, If they ain't got it, I just ain't gonna do it. Like, but that does not align with the program, my values, or anything. So you just provide fun. And we still do stuff for free. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know that. Like, we still go and do things for free all the time because community is still the most important factor. So it's schools all the time. Like, they might want to take on a program in its entirety. And I'd be like, no, like, let us come out there and let's test it for free. Like, and let's just see what it does in the school. Let's see if you can support it. Because if a school takes on a program and can't support it, which we've seen, then the program fails and like the purpose is not there. So it's like finances don't matter if you're gonna take away the purpose. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just I've denied contracts because I've seen like, oh no, they're not gonna really take it on. Like, they're not gonna take it serious, and the students are not gonna get what they need. So why would I, you know what I'm saying? Why would I do that? It doesn't align with who I am.
So how you find time for a community and still like navigating fatherhood, navigating being your own artist? Like, how do you make sure you maintain that balance in your own personal life?
You don't. Nah.
Whatever say, I be sacrificing.
That's a lot. So my children always gonna come first in my life, regardless of anything.
You're an amazing father too. I tell you that all the time. Like, out of all my homeboys, you definitely like top two, not two. You know, for real.
I appreciate that. You know, shout out to Nick though. Like, we gonna because that man done went through some stuff and he's surviving. So shout out to him real quick. You know, but that's the top priority in my life. So when it comes to community, a lot of things I can incorporate them in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the community cookout, you see them there. Like, besides my oldest, because he was in school. But, you know, like, whatever I can, you know, wherever I can get, it's all three of them, whether it's one of them, two of them, like, whatever. Like, it's easy to take them into certain spaces, and it shows them. Like, you know, like, it's going to be the same thing I got from my father. It's going to build those morals and those values in them.
Yeah.
And for, like, my youngest son, he's an artist. Like, when I say that, like, I don't say that lightly. Like, he's an artist, like a published artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, that man was just in his own art exhibition, and they could buy merch and things.
That's
and
dope.
like, today he had an award ceremony, and he won an art award for the year. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, out of all the students in his grade. So they see that firsthand. You know, like, they're able to be a part of it and witness it. So I just incorporate them in the things I can. But the balance is like, right now, I ain't gonna lie, like, as Suave, that's why when you said, what do you want to be called? Like, Suave don't really exist a lot right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Andre does, because like a lot of the things that I'm going, like, focusing on right now are just the community aspects, are purpose through poetry, are the schools, because like, we in a very, very fucked up time.
Yeah.
Like, they stripped DEI, they took funding away from, you know, the federal funding, and they working on that process of putting it on the state. Like, so I have to be prepared to still provide schools with the resources they need and work around that. So that's been a very, like, big focal point for me right now. So Suave has kind of drowned it in that. But maybe like the last 2 weeks, I've been trying to like find a balance. So like, let me put time into this and put time into my personal projects, because I'm working on a lot of personal projects right now.
Right.
And they've been taking the back seat. So I'm trying to like incorporate them into my life.
Find that balance.
Yeah, it's a lot though. Like, I work 15-hour days. Like, this shit is more consuming than a job. So like, it is more consuming than a job lots of the times. I work 15-hour days while incorporating my kids in it, and, you know, making sure that I'm active, because I'm a very active father. Like, you know, like, I'm with my children, like, you know, equal amount for the most part. And just trying to, it's hard though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my oldest son, like, that situation a little different, and like, so having to try to pull him into it and make sure that he's incorporated as well. That's a challenge, and like, navigating that, like, it's a full-time job itself, trying to find that balance in the navigation. And right now, I'm in a transition of trying to trust the team around me a little more, right? Giving them the opportunity to contribute in the ways that they want to. So I'm in a shift for that right now. Like, and I just put a lot on, well, you've seen it, like, you got it, like, sending out a form for everybody to fill out what their capacity is, what their contribution is. So that way I can let the reins of lost voices go a little more, because my path is in a different space right now. Like, I'm looking at a very, very, very large project in another city, and it's going to take what I'm doing here to take me from that to there.
You know,
But when I get there,
this got still got
it's got to still run, you know? So in order to do that, I just got to like keep finding the ways, the things, the whatever I can do to make this easier, you know, because it's not easy, bro. Like, it's not at all, but I'm gonna keep moving. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep doing this. Like, we're gonna keep building, my brother. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep
balance ain't never easy, but it's always necessary. And I
Yeah.
see you continuously do the necessary thing. One question I do want to ask is, how do you balance the narrative of like, because I know when I was first introduced to you, you were like battling that narrative of being an erotic poet.
right.
Like, how has that transitioned then to now? Do you feel like you still battle that narrative?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Now I do believe, and this is for both me and you,
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that like there's an expectation for us to do like love poems and shit like that. And it's crazy for me. Like, no shade to you, but I
Nah.
can see why that narrative was placed on you to a certain degree. Because when I first seen you, like I did see you do a lot of love pieces.
Mm-hmm.
But like we talked about throughout this so far, like my narrative or my performances has never been that. It's always been like mental health pieces, like my entire career. I started doing like the love pieces and just that and the third at a certain point in my career because that's what people wanted. Like never what I really cared to do. And it took on so quick. And once it starts hitting, the ego, right? We artists, ego. So you start feeding it.
Them DMs start hit. they start, oh, Swall, let me get you. They did.
And the erotic part is crazy. Cause like, bro, I could look at, I probably got 2,000 poems on my phone. And I probably have 3 to 5 erotic poems.
But you can do that one everywhere.
And you know what I'm saying? I got this one that it's not even an erotic piece. It's about a man struggling with sexual addiction. But everybody calls it an erotic piece because it starts with pussy feels good. But it like if you listen to the piece, it has nothing to do with that, bro. Like
they're not listening to that.
They're not. They see a nice looking face. Somebody just say pussy feel good at the beginning, and it's a wrap.
Yeah.
So they label me erotic. Like I never did, but you know what I did with it? I started filling rooms with women who just wanted to come see me. And when I got them in that room, that's what they thought they was gonna get. And I hit nothing with heavy pieces on them, nothing but suicide prevention, mental health awareness, and it made them listen.
And that's how I was introduced to you. You know, this man was booked at an event. I'm not gonna call the venue, but in a venue we called a retirement home.
You funny,
but this man was booked at an event, and I remember like I'm performing around the city this time, you know? So, and all my folks is know dapping you up and stuff. I'm like, man, who is this dude? Like, who? And then you spit. And I was like, yeah, he cold. And it was like one of the rarest times in that room I've seen it packed like that with like people. Like, not just like family members, cousins. Like, nah, it's like I'm about to bring the homegirls. Like, some dudes about to come up here. Like, we really about to see some talent. And I was like, yeah. And then I think like a little bit after that, we linked up and
we took off.
Took off for real.
Because the vision aligned, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my morals, my values, like, they there. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got the same ones, like, that core. And that's important. Like, I remember, like, when we started hitting, you would always be like, yo, we need a team. And I would always just say the same thing. Like, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah. You like,
however, it's got to come organically.
It's got to come
organically. I don't do force. Because I did force for so long.
Yeah.
And I seen what it did. Like, I seen people that take advantage of you. Like, I had one dude I was doing business with, and I would tell him all my dreams and my things I had planned. And then when we fell out, I seen this man go and copy and paste everything I had told him. But, you know, it ain't me.
You know what? You know what, though? That's the game. You know what you got to do? You got to learn the game. But no, for real, though. Even I remember, like, the first time we linked up, we just had ideas back and forth. And I remember you being like, man, fuck all the talking. Like, we about to put this to action.
Let's do it.
And it's like, I don't even know how long ago that was, but it seemed like ever since then, it's just
over the last 2 years, bro.
Over the last 2 years.
I hate getting a haircut sometimes, man. You know, the lingering hair on my lip. Now, yeah, like over the last 2 years, bro, like we've built an empire, like for real. You know what I'm saying? Like we
films, pull up poet,
like, bro, we've done a lot. Like, bro, imagine, bro, like The first time we did Pull Up Poet, we talking about a full-on production where we had a camera crew. The goal was to put it on Amazon, and it just didn't come out because it's two of us.
Yeah.
It's two of us that wrote it, produced
Producing
it, directed it, like
everything.
and did the backstage stuff, the lighting cues,
stage crew, all of that.
We was everything and performed in it, bro. Did this skit before, and we seen how much different it was when we had a team around us and we did it the second time around. It ran so smooth, it was easy. So now we back at the point where we gonna do it again for Amazon. You know what I'm saying? We go because we know how to do it now.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of been us. We're not afraid to fail.
That'd be the hardest thing, just doing it though.
Yeah.
So where do you see, the future? What's in the future for you, for Lost Voices? Where do you see y'all going? The trajectory of where you going?
So as far as Lost Voices, future is building hubs, right? So versus just going in schools, having our own buildings, right?
Expansion.
Yeah. So and not just in one city, having buildings all over the state of North Carolina. That's where we going. That's not where I want to go. That's where we going. That's in the works right now. That's going to happen. We starting it, right? I can't disclose that right now, but we already starting at school, right? You know what I'm saying? We doing that, and so building from there and just allowing all the team to fill into roles and, be able to effectively do it. Cause we've been able to put them in a lot of different positions and opportunities and placing them. But now I want everybody to learn not how to receive opportunities, but how to produce them. And so that's where Lost Voices is going. As far as me, I say this all the time. I don't plan on doing this forever. You know what I'm saying? I plan on building the school system stuff. Figuring out how to run that and to put everybody in position to where everybody, wins and eats, and we feed back to the schools, and just being able to just hey, I need you to go here, and I don't really, bro, going stages, doing the shows, traveling nationally and doing all the things we doing, the features, the headlines. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to go to Baltimore and you got a whole club packed out and you get to perform.
Crazy.
It's a great feeling, but I don't care about that no more, bro. I'm going to do it still. Yeah, I'm going to do that still, but I care about building the foundation and getting out of that eventually, you know what I'm saying? And right now, coming next month, got a book with this dude named Jaden. He's the illustrator. It's a children's book, my first ever children's book.
That's dope. That's what's up.
And it's about being okay with who you are, right? Regardless of what your differences are. If someone say you weird, embracing that. It's called 11 Butterflies and the Moth. And the moth is the main character. We always look at the beauty in butterflies, and when you ever went outside and heard somebody say, "Oh my God, it's a moth," they say, "Oh, that's a beautiful butterfly trying to catch it," but moth ill. But you never know the qualities and what a moth brings to this world, how special it is.
And they're both the same. They're just raised up differently.
That's it, bro. Circumstances.
Yeah.
And so that's what that book is about. And then God made me a poet. That's
on the merch.
That's the merch. You know what I'm saying? God made me a poet. Nick Corman, brother in Lost Voices. When I first started this journey 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago, doing this full time, I needed advice. And he told me, he was bro, always keep God first. Never lose your spiritual, dedication while you're doing this, and you'll always be able to succeed in it. And
the shirt clean, bro.
I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
You lose that. Y'all gonna get that.
So a couple of projects. I got an album, The Hangover, coming out. Working on that with a producer, pianist, out in Raleigh. Zebulon, Q to Praise. So I got an album coming out this summer, book coming out, children's book coming out this summer. This merch is just launched. It's probably I got a lot of projects I'm working on right now.
He's a busy man, my boy.
Yeah, a lot of projects. So be on the lookout. Swab the Poet 2.0.
He got so many projects, so he stay focused and keep the women.
Hey, I ain't dealing, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really dealing with them right now. They'll break your heart, bro. You know what I'm saying? No,
talk about it.
They'll break your heart.
Talk about it.
They'll hurt you. They'll hurt you, but sometimes you hurt yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because your failure to focus on healing, your failure to heal from one thing before you move on to the next. I'm real. I'm transparent. I'll put this on camera. I fell in love with a woman and I did not have the capacity to feed that love because I was still lingering in something previous to that, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that just creates a toxic cycle, you know, and like
You gotta let go.
you gotta let go before you try to
Grow.
move, you know, move to something new and grow. And so it's like we both was in a situation to where like one of the calmest loves I've ever experienced, but like it's hard to remain calm when there's so much chaos internally.
Yeah.
And it starts projecting into your relationship. So
And it's also hard to teach yourself that you don't have to thrive in survival mode no more.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to be safe.
to put your shoulders down.
To put your shoulders down.
And that's hard.
To put
that
your
guard up.
To let your guard down, to let somebody in.
And that brings me to a point. I got a video dropping soon. It's a short film. It's called We Didn't Lie. And it's talking about that. Like, sometimes lying looks different than what we define it as. Like, when we talk about, you think if you say, oh, they was liars in a relationship, you talking about cheating, like not telling the truth. But sometimes hiding ourselves is not telling the truth, right?
Yeah.
Hiding the most vulnerable pieces of you is telling a lie sometimes, because the full story of who you are is not allowed into this dynamic, and y'all putting up this wall. And if y'all both putting up a wall, how y'all ever supposed to be cohesive and, you know what I'm saying, be a true dynamic, true partnership? So be on the lookout for that. It's real smooth, but yeah, like that's what we have to understand. Like sometimes lying look different.
I
Like,
was gonna say, a woman I love taught me, omission from the truth is still a lie.
it is. You know what I'm saying? Like it really is.
And
like
that shattered my whole foundation. But my good brother, Andre Sansbury, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. You know, you've been doing your thing. Y'all make sure y'all like, follow, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Metaphors and Mics. Before we get up out of here, let the people know about the piece you're gonna give them, and just tell us a little bit about it. What can we expect?
I think it's perfect we ended on the note of the conversation we just had, because that's what this piece touches on. It just touches on the toxic patterns of relationships, and we mirrors. You know what I'm saying? We mirrors. So it's like you give me something, 9 times out of 10, like the natural instinct is for me to give it back. Like, you know, if I'm not in a place where I'm necessarily navigating life or romantic relationships in a healthy manner, like when you bring it to me, I just project it back. Like, you know, we become mirrors. And so this piece is called ABCs. And you're like, why is that piece called that? You're going to see. You're going to see when they give it to you in a minute. Right now, I'm Andre Sansbury, a.k.a. Suave the Poet. And this right here is ABCs. A, B, C, D, E, G, H, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Wait. Dang. I think I forgot 2 letters. Right. I F up any woman I encounter, it doesn't matter the letter. And just like that intro, I've always been a little extra and had this thing for letters. See, I had this one woman tell me I messed her up so bad, she was gonna have PTSD forever. And I was sitting there like, whatever, because I was too dumb to realize that karma is clever, and the form it would come in would be the worst thing I could endeavor. She sent in the form of a woman by the name of narcissist personality disorder. Showed you all her signs of manipulative behavior, but you ignored her. Hurt you and worked you with her lack of empathy, but you adored her. You try to unpack all of her bullshit just to realize that she was a hoarder, and she broadcasted it so large you could watch it on your TV screen. So like Apple, I mirrored it, because if you're gonna be anything, like the girlies say, be fucking for real. Because as a man who was never taught emotions, I had to learn how to feel. I had to learn the difference between what was fake and what was real, but I let you blur them together like the NFL did with accepting Kaepernick's kneel. Yeah, he still doesn't have a deal, and they say it's because of skill. Like jets over stadiums, I know that might have went over top, but in simple terms, people would tell you they love and accept you for you, but would tear you down for everything that you are not. And when the ego was big as mine, if you make me feel like less than I am, I'd be like EA and show you that it's in the game. I'll show you that I'm my daddy's son that I've been pimping since 96, and the toxic is my middle name. I'll be Morris Chestnut, you could be my Vivica A. And if you're having trouble figuring out this equation, I'll be your math way. And I'll show you how 2 negatives make a positive. So go ahead, lend me all your lies and trauma. I'll deposit it. Anytime you want it, I'll give it right back to you with a little extra on top of it. And don't get me wrong, this is not a story or a poem about whose fault it is. This poem is equivalent to a dating site. It's to show you that you met your match. So any hand you play, I'm going to play it right back. Have you looking at the back of the card pack for manufacturing information because you think you found a bad batch just to find your name engraved in it with my initials in the fine print with words to read when he said find somebody else to play with. That's exactly what the fuck he meant. And the sad thing is, there is no FDA drug approved for NPD. That's why God created me, so I could be exactly what you need and give you a dose of your own medicine. Do you know how contradicting it is when the devil is heaven sent? And don't get me wrong, when it comes to the definition of toxic, I know it contains examples with my name next to it, but I promise I want less of it, because that get back a motherfucker. But it's no longer on the agenda of things I want to do. See, I want a love that is simple. I want a love that is sweet. I want a love that is pure. I want a love that is true. Because a woman by the name of narcissist personality disorder, she beat my heart till it was black. She beat my heart till it was blue. She's like she was doing open heart surgery. Forgot every procedure except the one on how to stop it. But I have to let this malpractice go off of my shoulders because I'm so sick of being toxic.